welcome back to Whiskey Wonder Woman. It's mystery box day. So we have a mystery whiskey in this box, and I have to guess, ooh, it's heavy because I almost dropped it. I have to guess if it's like a top shelf or bottom shelf whiskey, and then I have to guess if it's over 50 or under 50 based on what I'm tasting in this glass. So let me put this over here before I drop it. And let's get started. For the next few videos, I have to note that I'm letting all the bottles being opened up and aerated and oxidized, so they're not freshly cracked, just because I want to pay attention to the notes and I am listening to my followers. So we're going to test this theory of the neck pour and whatever it's called, to see if it really makes a difference of the notes. I do believe that some of the ethanol does need to evaporate and the whiskey does need to open up in some ways, but we will see and test this theory out, and then we could just put it all to rest. So with that, let's go for it. This is the whiskey we have tonight. It's actually really dark. I don't know if you guys could tell, but for me, it actually looks pretty dark, like a really dark yellow. And it's almost a little cloudy. Interesting. It's not like clear. I mean, it is see-through, but there is a little bit of cloudiness in the color, not in the whiskey. Okay, let's go in for the aroma. It smells good. I immediately smell a grain and caramel. So I'm wondering if I smell corn. The initial scent is grainy and sweet, but I'm not smelling any oak or wood yet. I think I'm still waiting for it to open up. Okay, now it's a little bit fruity, almost like apples. It's crisp, and a little fresh. Maybe like a hint of a berry or maybe a dark fruit, but it's not a deep dark fruit. It's just not caramelized. It's almost like in the middle. It's like almost there. There is the vanilla, there is the caramel. I'm almost struggling to get woody notes, but there is this fragrant smell. It could either be like spices, like ginger or clove, or it could lean towards the wood notes that I'm looking for. Okay. That's enough with the aroma. I think based on the notes I'm getting, I'm leaning towards a bourbon because it's leaning on the sweeter side. Even though it is initially grainy, it is opening up more and becoming a little bit sweeter. But it's It also did have some fresh fruity notes. Okay, I think I'm still gonna stick with the bourbon for now. So let me go in for the taste. Oh, that was spicy. Oh my God. Oh my God. Now I'm wondering if that was a rye. That finished and tasted like a rye immediately. Like cinnamon and cloves, and I mean, it could be also high proof, but ooh. Wow, that I don't know. The aroma doesn't smell like a rye. I can't tell. Oh my God, I think it's a rye. It's so spicy. And it's tingling on my tongue. It's almost like sprinkled cinnamon at this point. It's actually really spicy. And I don't think that it's like bad in flavor. I actually think it's actually really good. The finish is lingering. The taste is actually pretty good. I will say that it's spicy and it's full of aromatic spices, cloves, cinnamon. I do think there's hints of pepper. Man, I'm so confused. I don't know. I don't know. I do think whatever is in this glass though is actually pretty good. I just have no idea what type of whiskey it is. So with that being said, I think it's over $50. I think based on the notes, it was just a blast of flavor. The finish was done really well and it lingered really well. It was spicy, it did burn, but it wasn't terrible. It was actually really tasteful. I just can't tell if it's a bourbon or a rye, but I'm gonna guess it's super spicy. Oh gosh. I think from the aroma, crap. Okay, so taste and finished was a rye, aroma was like a bourbon. I'm gonna go with rye then, 2 out of 3. So I'm gonna go with like over $50 rye, and I don't know if it's top shelf, but it could be. So maybe I'm leaning towards top shelf rye, which I'm unsure if there's a lot of those. So let's see what's in here. Oh, I don't even want to know what this is. It's gonna be like chicken cock or something. What is this? $25. Old Granddad High Rye. I got it right. That was a high rye. Mash bill bonded Kentucky straight bourbon whiskey. Wait. Which one is it? Okay, so this is what it is. It's Old Granddad. Is this a bottom shelf? Like, what even is this? I don't know. Based on the bottle, I don't think it looks like a top shelf bourbon. I've never had Old Granddad. But Oh my gosh, it's $25, guys. It's $25 and it's actually really good. So I'm just gonna, I really don't know where this is on the shelf. Is this bottom shelf? Or is it in the middle? This is actually really good. This is really good. I'm going to look up the tasting notes. So it's a Kentucky straight bourbon, but it has a high rye mash bill. So I wasn't wrong, right? I was confused for a reason. So let me look up those tasting notes. I don't even know who makes this. Who makes Old Granddad? Oh, produced by Beam Suntory. Okay, so it's by Jim Beam. So let's see. Had to do some digging on the Jim Beam website. Basil Hayden Sr., known as Old Granddad, to the generations that followed, made bourbon the way he wanted. He went against the traditional grain of the time and chose to distill his bourbon at a higher percentage of rye. This way of crafting bourbon was likely something he handed down to his son, and in turn his grandson, that was Colonel R.B. Hayden, who would justly name his bourbon after his old granddad. This recipe today remains inspired by Basil's original, with complex flavors and an unmistakable spiciness. It was spicy. First bottled in 1882, very little has changed about it, and that's the only way we'd have it. Golden honey brown, aroma, a spicy nose with hints of dried fruits, taste medium bodied, shows some sweet vanilla, but more evident is the peppery spiciness displayed by notes of cloves and cinnamon. Oh my God, I said both of those. Jim Beam needs to hire me as like their nose expert. Oh my gosh. Finish long and very spicy. I can't believe I guessed those notes. Okay, so this is a Jim Beam product. I don't know where it sits on the shelf because I've never seen it before. But this is delicious, and I said it was leaning towards top shelf. And for $25, I think this is slept on. This is delicious. A really good bourbon, but it sips like a rye. So for someone who prefers rye but loves bourbon, I think this bonded Old Granddad is for you. And for 25 bucks, and this is what I'm paying in Virginia, right? It's probably cheaper in other states. You really can't go wrong. It was just funny that I was like, oh, this is a bourbon. And then immediately when I tasted it, I'm like, oh, I think this is a rye, but that's exactly what the recipe was supposed to be. And that's exactly what Old Granddad intended. So I actually enjoyed this whiskey in this mystery box. Again, I failed, but at least you guys know that this bottle is pretty affordable and it's delicious. So if you had Old Granddad at 100 proof, let me know in the comments, and let me know what you think. And I'll see you in the next mystery box. Cheers. This is actually really delicious.